Many people that I talk with struggle to understand the differences between healthy foods and unhealthy foods. Are you one of them? Let's do a quick test. Is margarine a healthy food or an unhealthy food? What about fried chicken or sugar-free ice cream? Understanding the differences between healthy versus unhealthy foods makes all the difference in the world. It's the difference between weight loss and weight gain, good health and poor health, generational wellness and generational illness. We'll break it all down in today's episode. Welcome to the Back to Basics Health with Coach BT podcast. I'm your host, Coach BT, and today we're going to be talking about 3 different kinds of foods: healthy foods, unhealthy foods, and in-between foods. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Let's dive in. Oftentimes, in order to know the real from the fake, you have to know what the real really looks like. If you know what real Nikes look like, it's much easier to identify the knockoffs. So, let's get a better understanding of what healthy food is by looking at healthy foods. Healthy foods typically look like real foods, minimally processed, low in added sugars, low in sodium, low in fat, and typically have 0 or few artificial ingredients and industrial ingredients. Examples of healthy foods include things like fruits and vegetables, beans and legumes, whole grains, lean meats, egg whites, fish, many fermented foods, herbs and spices, unsweetened teas and coffees, and water. According to the AJ Hospital and Research Center, healthy foods are those that are nutrient dense, meaning high in nutrients, not processed, and provide the body with the essential vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients it needs to function properly. In today's world, it's very important to find ways to increase the amount of healthy food we consume in our normal diet. Well, what about unhealthy food? What exactly is unhealthy food? Unhealthy food typically is food that is highly processed, contains high levels of fat, salt, or sugar, lacks nutrients such as fiber, vitamins, and minerals, and may contain artificial ingredients and hormones and antibiotics. Examples of unhealthy foods include fast foods, fried foods, chips, cookies, cakes, foods and drinks rich in added sugars and salt, fatty foods, refined grains, and processed meats. Unhealthy food consumption tends to increase in the following situations: stress, convenience, nighttime, shopping while hungry, sleep deprivation, depression, comfort eating, and general bad habits. Do you notice an uptick in unhealthy food consumption when you're experiencing these situations? Working to replace these unhealthy foods with healthy foods is a must, and it's also vitally important to have a plan for dealing with less than ideal situations when working to improve your health. Moving on to another very important category of foods. I like to call this food category in-between foods. In my opinion, this category holds people back the most from reaching their optimal health. In-between foods are generally an ambiguous category. It's neither hot nor cold. It keeps people stuck in the good enough zone, rarely reaching their healthiest potential. Scientific research on the matter is still developing, but some studies suggest that in-between foods, especially those with artificial sweeteners and highly processed ingredients, may be linked to weight gain, metabolic conditions, autoimmune disease, and, though controversial, even certain cancers. A 2024 study published in the Journal of Biomedicine highlights potential connections between artificial sweeteners and cancer progression, immune response, and outcomes related to immunotherapy. While more research is needed, these concerns are enough for many people to proceed with caution. Examples of in-between foods include margarine, diet or zero-calorie drinks, excluding water, teas, and coffees, fat-free processed foods, sugar-free processed foods, natural flavor additives, artificial sweeteners, other food additives used for color, preservation, thickening agents, and genetically modified or bioengineered foods. I do understand that many people choose these in-between foods out of what feels like necessity, but there are typically better ways to accomplish the same levels of satisfaction with healthier foods and ingredients. It just may require a bit more time and research. I intend to dedicate more time to these in-between foods in future episodes. It is in this episode, however, that I want to give you a basic general framework of understanding healthy foods, unhealthy foods, and in-between foods. Unhealthy foods and in-between foods are generally okay in moderation. However, long-term, frequent consumption of these foods tends to lead to progressively diminished overall health. When working to increase your health, increasing your knowledge about food is paramount. It is also paramount to address the reasons why you gravitate to things that hold you back from achieving your goals. We call this self-sabotage, and this is what we'll be discussing in our next episode. Thank you for listening to the Back to Basics Health with Coach BT podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode. I look forward to seeing you next time.